In the early days of World War II, the USS Wahoo emerged as a vessel that would redefine submarine warfare in the Pacific. When it was first commissioned, the submarine struggled to make an impact, plagued by mechanical failures, torpedo malfunctions, and cautious command decisions that left its missions largely unremarkable. The early patrols under Lieutenant Commander Marvin Kennedy were frustrating. Torpedoes missed their targets, convoys slipped by unscathed, and opportunities that should have yielded victories were lost to hesitation and adherence to doctrine. The crew of Wahoo, skilled yet frustrated, needed more than capability. It needed leadership that could fully exploit its potential. When Dudley, Mush, Morton assumed command on December 31, 1942, everything changed. Morton brought a level of aggression and creativity to submarine command that had rarely been seen. He saw Wahoo not as a tool to hide in the ocean but as a weapon to strike decisively, boldly, and relentlessly. From the moment Morton took the helm, he instilled a mindset of calculated audacity, transforming Wahoo from a struggling vessel into a terror of the Pacific. Morton immediately implemented innovations that would become legendary. In an unprecedented move, he reversed the traditional roles on the submarine during attacks, placing Lieutenant Commander Richard O'Kane in charge of periscope observations while Morton focused on conning the submarine, plotting its movements, and coordinating attacks. This division of labor allowed for unparalleled situational awareness, with Morton overseeing the entire tactical environment, while O'Kane, with his keen mind and observational skill, acted as the eyes, tracking targets, calculating ranges, and coordinating torpedo strikes. The two men developed a relationship built on mutual trust, timing, and precision. Morton's philosophy was simple but radical. Wahoo was expendable, and the mission to sink enemy shipping was paramount. Every member of the crew understood the stakes, and no one wavered in their commitment. They were volunteers in the truest sense, willing to face danger at every turn. Wahoo's early successes under Morton and O'Kane demonstrated the effectiveness of their strategy. On one daring patrol in Waiwak Harbor, New Guinea, the submarine penetrated a heavily defended harbor, an action considered suicidal by conventional doctrine. They encountered the Japanese destroyer Harasame at anchor and attacked with 6 torpedoes. The first 5 failed, but the 6th found its mark, splitting the destroyer in 2 and sinking it within minutes. The crew executed the maneuver flawlessly, retreating under the cover of surprise with no pursuit from enemy forces. This audacious victory established Wahoo's reputation as a vessel capable of achieving the impossible. Days later, Wahoo engaged a convoy that included freighters, a tanker, and the troop transport Byaru, protected by multiple escorts. Morton and O'Kane coordinated attacks with meticulous precision, sinking multiple ships, including the transport carrying hundreds of Japanese soldiers. In a controversial decision, Morton ordered Wahoo to surface and engage with deck guns, eliminating survivors who could later rejoin the fight. While the action was debated ethically, it reflected the brutal realities of war in the Pacific and underscored the calculated aggression that defined Wahoo's operations. These patrols cemented the reputation of both Morton and O'Kane as innovators and fearless leaders, and Wahoo became a symbol of American naval prowess. The partnership between Morton and O'Kane set a new standard for submarine operations. O'Kane honed his skills under Morton's mentorship, learning the subtleties of torpedo trajectories, periscope observation, and rapid tactical decision-making. Their seamless coordination allowed Wahoo to execute attacks that other submarines could only dream of attempting. Each patrol built upon the last, and the crew's confidence grew as successes mounted. By the time O'Kane took command of the USS Tang, he was ready to apply the lessons learned from Wahoo and push submarine warfare to new heights. Under O'Kane, Tang would become the most successful American submarine in history, but the path was fraught with danger, innovation, and calculated risk. Tang's early patrols demonstrated O'Kane's emphasis on relentless training and preparation. He drilled his crew extensively, focusing on periscope accuracy, night surface attacks, rapid decision-making, and coordinated teamwork. Officers and enlisted men alike learned to identify ships by silhouette, estimate ranges, and calculate firing solutions under extreme pressure. O'Kane believed that perfect preparation allowed for aggressive tactics without unnecessary risk. His surface attacks at night were particularly effective, granting superior visibility, higher speed, and the element of surprise, all while requiring flawless coordination from every member of the crew. The result was a submarine capable of striking decisively and escaping before the enemy could respond effectively. Tang's patrols off the Caroline and Mariana Islands in early 1944 showcased the effectiveness of this training. In one engagement, Tang intercepted a convoy of multiple ships and escorts. O'Kane brought the submarine to the surface, positioning it directly in the convoy's path. When an escort detected Tang, the submarine executed a rapid emergency dive, avoiding depth charges while maintaining control of the engagement. O'Kane then returned to periscope depth and fired torpedoes with devastating precision, sinking several ships in quick succession. By the end of the patrol, Tang had fired all its torpedoes, sunk 5 ships, and destroyed over 18,000 tons of enemy shipping. The crew's performance validated O'Kane's methods, and the submarine returned to Pearl Harbor as one of the most effective vessels in the Pacific theater. Subsequent patrols further demonstrated O'Kane's ability to balance aggression with precision. Tang rescued downed American pilots under enemy fire, demonstrating his commitment to both mission and human life. The crew faced extreme conditions, overcrowding, and rationing challenges, yet every mission was executed flawlessly. Tang's third patrol, in the Yellow and East China Seas, was legendary. O'Kane attacked heavily defended convoys with surface torpedoes at night, sinking 4 large ships and causing chaos among escorts. Later engagements during the same patrol added more victories, culminating in Tang's first 5 successful patrols and securing O'Kane's reputation as the most accomplished submarine commander in U.S. Navy history. The final patrol of Tang brought both triumph and tragedy. O'Kane's submarine charged into the Taiwan Strait, sinking convoys in spectacular attacks. However, during a night surface engagement, a malfunctioning Mark 18 torpedo turned back toward Tang, striking the aft torpedo room and triggering a catastrophic explosion that destroyed the submarine's rear sections. O'Kane and a few crew members survived, facing hours in the open ocean and eventual capture by Japanese forces. The sinking of Tang claimed 78 men, marking a somber end to the most successful submarine in American naval history. The surviving crew endured brutal imprisonment, including starvation, beatings, and psychological torment, yet they remained steadfast, refusing to betray their comrades or reveal sensitive information. O'Kane himself emerged from captivity as a symbol of resilience and leadership, later receiving the Medal of Honor and multiple other decorations for his valor and command. The legacy of Wahoo and Tang, and of Morton and O'Kane, is measured not only in the number of enemy ships sunk but in the evolution of submarine warfare. Aggressive tactics, meticulous training, trust between commander and crew, and the courage to innovate under pressure became hallmarks of U.S. Navy operations. O'Kane's memoirs, including Clear the Bridge and Wahoo, ensured that the lessons learned and the stories of extraordinary bravery would endure. Through leadership, preparation, and daring action, these submarines reshaped naval strategy, leaving an indelible mark on military history and the men who served aboard them. Their stories continue to inspire generations of naval officers, demonstrating the extraordinary heights that can be achieved through courage, skill, and unwavering dedication. At the height of the Pacific War, the USS Wahoo had already carved its name into history, but it was the USS Tang under Lieutenant Commander Richard O'Kane that would push the boundaries of submarine warfare to unprecedented levels. The Tang was a Gado-class submarine, state-of-the-art for its time, with improvements in speed, maneuverability, and torpedo technology that made it one of the deadliest vessels in the Pacific. O'Kane, having served under Captain Dudley, Mush, Morton on the Wahoo, had absorbed every lesson in aggressive, innovative tactics. He had learned how to push a submarine and its crew to operate with a level of synchronization and precision rarely seen. Tang's first patrol under O'Kane was a test of this philosophy, moving through the Caroline and Mariana Islands. Every officer and enlisted man aboard had trained tirelessly, focusing on periscope skills, rapid recognition of ship types, and night surface attack techniques. The crew's coordination was flawless. On February 17, 1944, This preparation was put to the ultimate test when radar detected a convoy of 2 freighters and 5 smaller ships with multiple escorts. O'Kane decided to attack on the surface, charging straight into the heart of the formation under the cover of darkness, a tactic many considered reckless. He maneuvered Tang into position, called the bearings, and fired 4 torpedoes at close range. 3 found their marks, sinking a 6,800-ton freighter in a violent explosion. After diving to evade an escort's counterattack, Tang resurfaced, tracked the convoy, and struck again at dawn, demonstrating the lethal effectiveness of aggressive tactics combined with exceptional training and trust in his crew. By the end of the patrol, Tang had fired all 24 torpedoes, achieving 16 hits, sinking 5 ships totaling 18,000 tons, and proving that O'Kane's methods worked under real combat conditions. The following patrol, though uneventful in terms of combat, showcased O'Kane's character and leadership. Serving as lifeguard duty off truck, Tang rescued 22 downed American pilots despite heavy Japanese fire. The submarine was not designed to carry so many extra personnel, forcing O'Kane to ration food, share his own bunk, and endure cramped conditions, yet all 22 pilots survived, a testament to his decision-making under pressure and deep concern for human life. Tang's third patrol cemented its legendary status, operating in the Yellow and East China Seas, areas notorious for shallow waters, heavy mines, and constant enemy patrols. On June 20th, Tang encountered a massive convoy of 6 large ships protected by 16 escorts. Standard doctrine dictated avoidance, but O'Kane again chose aggression. Under the cover of night, Tang attacked on the surface, firing spread after spread of torpedoes, sinking multiple ships in rapid succession, including tankers and freighters. Over the course of this patrol, Tang destroyed 10 ships, more than any submarine had achieved on a single patrol during the war, and O'Kane received his second Navy Cross. The combination of intense training, absolute trust in his crew, rapid tactical decision-making, and calculated aggression created results that were impossible to ignore. Tang's fourth patrol was conducted in Japanese home waters off Honshu, the enemy's heartland. From July 31 to September 3, 1944, Tang hunted amidst near-constant threats from aircraft, patrol boats, and heavily defended harbors. Despite the extreme danger, O'Kane applied the same principles, striking when opportunities arose, evading when necessary, and sinking 7 more ships, exhausting his torpedoes by the end of the mission. By this time, O'Kane had achieved 27 confirmed ship sinkings totaling over 90,000 tons, 3 Navy Crosses, and a Presidential Unit Citation, earning him the reputation as the most successful submarine commander in the Pacific. Even so, O'Kane refused to rest, driven by an unwavering sense of responsibility for Tang and her crew. The fifth patrol, intended as routine, would become infamous for its dramatic and tragic conclusion. O'Kane declined orders to operate as part of a wolf pack, trusting instead in his crew's training and his own tactics to operate independently in the heavily patrolled Taiwan Strait. Tang departed on September 24, 1944, and by October 23, had already engaged several convoys. On one night, Tang surfaced and charged into the center of a heavily escorted formation, firing 8 torpedoes with deadly precision. Explosions ripped through the convoy, sinking multiple ships including tankers, a transport, and a destroyer, the latter either from a torpedo hit or collateral damage amid the chaos. O'Kane's aggressive surface attack strategy had produced unparalleled results, demonstrating that speed, coordination, and trust could overcome numerical superiority and even the hazards of shallow, heavily monitored waters. Yet, the patrol would end in tragedy due to an unexpected and catastrophic failure. Tang's final torpedo, a Mark 18 electric type known for its stealth and night attack capabilities, malfunctioned. Instead of striking the enemy, it executed a circular run, returning toward Tang at high speed. O'Kane had mere seconds to respond. Orders were shouted, engines revved to flank speed, and evasive maneuvers executed, but it was too late. The torpedo struck Tang's aft section, obliterating the aft torpedo room, engine compartments, and killing 78 men instantly. The submarine sank rapidly, leaving only the forward compartments with 30 men trapped but alive. Chief Torpedo Man Lee Bald organized a desperate survival plan, instructing men to destroy sensitive documents and prepare to escape through the forward torpedo room using Monson lungs, devices designed for emergency ascent from submerged submarines. 13 men attempted the ascent, but only 5 survived, joining O'Kane in the water as they were later captured by Japanese forces. The surviving crew endured brutal treatment in the secret Ofuna interrogation camp and later at WWII, known for its harsh conditions and sadistic guards, including Corporal Matsuhiro Watanabe, infamously known as the Bird. Despite torture, starvation, and relentless beatings, O'Kane and the Tang survivors refused to betray any strategic or technical information, demonstrating extraordinary resilience and loyalty to their country and each other. By August 1945, with Japan's surrender imminent following the atomic bombings and Soviet entry into the war, American forces liberated the prisoners. O'Kane had survived 10 months in captivity, weighing over 50 pounds lighter, but alive, alongside the other 8 Tang survivors. Post-war investigations confirmed Tang's destruction was caused by the torpedo malfunction, and O'Kane's record was extraordinary: 33 ships sunk, totaling 116,454 tons, the most successful in American naval history. In recognition of his bravery and leadership, O'Kane received the Medal of Honor, 3 Navy Crosses, and 3 Silver Stars, yet he consistently attributed his success to his crew rather than himself. O'Kane continued his naval career, mentoring future submarine officers, commanding vessels and divisions, and influencing submarine warfare doctrine. He published 2 seminal memoirs, Clear the Bridge and Wahoo, detailing his experiences under Dudley, Morton, and his own command of Tang, both becoming classic studies in submarine tactics and leadership. The Tang's wreck remains undiscovered in the Taiwan Strait, serving as a solemn war grave for the 78 men lost, while O'Kane's legacy lives on through his training methods, aggressive tactics, and the enduring lesson that effective leadership, relentless preparation, trust, and courage can achieve the impossible even amidst the most perilous circumstances. His story remains a cornerstone of naval history, a testament to the human spirit in the crucible of war, illustrating how extraordinary coordination, innovation, and bravery under fire can leave an indelible mark on history. After the war, Richard O'Kane returned to the United States as a national hero, yet he remained a man of humility, always deflecting praise to the officers and crew who had served under him aboard Tang. He understood that the successes of his patrols were the product of collective skill, training, and trust rather than individual brilliance alone. The Navy recognized his extraordinary contributions with the Medal of Honor, 3 Navy Crosses, and multiple Silver Stars, but O'Kane's focus was always on ensuring that the lessons learned during combat would shape the next generation of submarine commanders. He dedicated himself to teaching, mentoring, and refining tactics that emphasized aggressive yet calculated attacks, seamless crew coordination, and rapid decision-making in high-stress environments. His first-hand accounts, particularly in his memoirs, became essential reading for naval officers, offering insights into both the technical and psychological demands of submarine warfare. O'Kane also influenced the design and strategy of post-war submarines, advocating for better crew accommodations, more reliable torpedoes, and improved sonar and radar systems, understanding that technology and human skill must evolve together to meet future threats. Tang's story, while tragic in its final moments, also served as a symbol of ingenuity, courage, and sacrifice. The bravery of the 78 men lost and the survival of the 30 who endured captivity became a focal point for Navy training programs in resilience and emergency preparedness. Public fascination with Tang and O'Kane's exploits helped cultivate a broader appreciation for submarine warfare, a domain often shrouded in secrecy, and highlighted the complex balance between tactical audacity and operational risk. Historians and naval strategists repeatedly cite Tang's patrols as case studies in precision, leadership under duress, and the human factors critical to combat effectiveness, while the circumstances of her loss underscored the ever-present danger of technology failures, particularly the circular running torpedo that became infamous in naval circles. Memorials, books, and documentaries ensure that Tang's story endures, honoring not only O'Kane but the entire crew who exemplified resilience, loyalty, and courage in the face of overwhelming adversity. Their legacy influenced U.S. submarine doctrine throughout the Cold War and beyond, shaping modern undersea tactics and emphasizing the importance of trust, preparation, and adaptability in warfare. Even decades later, veterans and naval scholars study O'Kane's methods to understand how extraordinary coordination, disciplined training, and decisive leadership can transform high-risk operations into historic victories. The story of Tang and her crew remains a potent reminder of the human cost of war and the remarkable potential of individuals and teams to achieve the extraordinary, leaving an indelible mark on history that continues to inspire courage, ingenuity, and dedication across generations. Following Tang's sinking, the survivors faced unimaginable trials that tested both their bodies and their minds, yet the experience also revealed the extraordinary resilience and camaraderie forged aboard the submarine. Richard O'Kane, adrift in the dark waters of the Taiwan Strait, struggled to survive alongside a handful of his fellow crew members, witnessing firsthand the fragility of life when trained precision and preparation could not prevent disaster. Despite hypothermia, exhaustion, and the trauma of losing 78 comrades in a matter of minutes, O'Kane and the others clung to discipline, instinct, and mutual support, understanding that survival depended on calm reasoning and coordinated action. Chief Torpedo Man Lee Ball took command within the forward torpedo room, organizing the 30 men who had survived the initial explosion and managing the escape attempts using the Monson lung, a device that had been largely untested in combat but became their only hope. They flooded the escape trunk in small groups, equalized pressure, and ascended one by one, fully aware of the risks of lung rupture, loss of consciousness, or simply being lost in the dark expanse of the ocean. Each successful ascent was a testament to O'Kane's rigorous training and the crew's extraordinary discipline. Each failure underscored the peril inherent in submarine warfare. Those who reached the surface faced a new threat: the Japanese patrol boats that had arrived on the scene, intent on capturing or killing any survivors. O'Kane and his companions were hauled aboard enemy vessels, subjected to brutal beatings, forced labor, and psychological torture designed to break their spirit. Yet even under relentless abuse, O'Kane refused to give information, maintaining his composure and protecting critical details about U.S. submarine capabilities. His leadership inspired other survivors, who witnessed his refusal to break under torture and found the strength to endure alongside him. The transfer from the clandestine Ofuna camp to the officially recognized yet equally punishing Omori POW camp did little to ease their suffering. Here, O'Kane contended with starvation, disease, and sadistic guards, particularly Corporal Matsuhiro Watanabe, who singled him out for relentless abuse in an attempt to crush his pride and will. O'Kane's unyielding determination became a symbol of resilience for all prisoners, showing that the human spirit could endure even the most extreme circumstances. As the war reached its conclusion, the collapsing Japanese empire and the surrender announcements brought hope, though survival until liberation remained precarious. When American forces finally arrived, O'Kane and the remaining Tang survivors were freed, emaciated, bruised, and scarred, yet alive, their ordeal a powerful narrative of endurance, courage, and leadership under conditions that would break most men. Upon returning home, O'Kane's focus shifted to ensuring that the lessons learned aboard Tang informed future naval strategy, training programs, and submarine design. His memoirs preserved both the technical aspects of undersea combat and the human stories of sacrifice, discipline, and trust that underpinned extraordinary operational success. Tang's loss, while tragic, became a cornerstone of U.S. Navy history, illustrating the peril of mechanical failure, the cost of audacious tactics, and the paramount importance of crew cohesion and rigorous preparation. O'Kane's post-war career reflected a commitment to institutionalizing these lessons. He trained the next generation of officers, advised on submarine operations and design, testified at war crime trials, and ensured that the heroic actions and sacrifices of his crew would not be forgotten. His work influenced submarine doctrine for decades, particularly in emphasizing aggressive tactics, night surface attacks, split-second decision-making, and the cultivation of absolute trust between commander and crew. Tang's story, with all its triumphs and tragedies, became a study in human resilience, leadership, and the extreme stakes of naval warfare, and O'Kane's life exemplified how courage, skill, and unshakable discipline could transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, leaving a legacy that inspired sailors, historians, and military leaders for generations. The continued remembrance of Tang, her crew, and O'Kane himself through books, memorials, and naval tradition ensures that their experiences inform both military practice and public understanding of the immense risks and rewards of submarine warfare, reinforcing the enduring impact of strategic brilliance, operational daring, and unbreakable human spirit. After surviving the sinking of Tang and enduring months of captivity under brutal conditions, Richard O'Kane returned to the United States as both a hero and a man deeply changed by his experiences. The trauma of losing 78 of his shipmates weighed heavily on him, yet he remained committed to the Navy and to ensuring that the lessons learned from Tang's remarkable patrols would inform future submarine operations. Upon debriefing, O'Kane meticulously recounted every detail of Tang's final patrol, reconstructing events from memory and corroborating with the other survivors to piece together the tragedy of the circular run torpedo and its catastrophic consequences. His testimony not only helped the Navy understand the technical failure that had caused Tang's loss but also highlighted the extraordinary courage and skill of the crew in both combat and survival. Recognized for his valor, O'Kane received the Medal of Honor, in addition to multiple Navy Crosses and Silver Stars, accolades that reflected not just his personal bravery but also his exceptional leadership and the extraordinary performance of his crew. Yet O'Kane remained modest, emphasizing the sacrifices of the men who had served under him, their teamwork, and their resilience under extreme conditions, rather than his own fame or decorations. The educational impact extends beyond naval personnel, influencing leadership and management studies in civilian contexts. O'Kane's approach to teamwork, decision-making under pressure, and ethical leadership has been cited in academic analyses, business case studies, and motivational literature. The principles of clear communication, trust in team members, strategic planning, and resilience under adversity are universally applicable, illustrating how military experience can offer profound lessons for civilian leadership and organizational development. In this sense, Tang's story transcends its historical moment, offering insights into human performance, risk management, and the cultivation of excellence that resonate in multiple spheres of life. The narrative also underscores the human cost of warfare. Tang's sinking, which claimed the lives of nearly the entire crew, serves as a somber reminder of the sacrifices required in combat. Survivor stories emphasize the psychological toll, the bonds formed under extreme circumstances, and the resilience necessary to endure loss while continuing to serve. O'Kane's leadership in these situations exemplified ethical command. He prioritized the well-being of his crew, made difficult decisions with integrity, and maintained morale in the face of imminent danger. These lessons continue to inform the Navy's approach to personnel management, crisis response, and mental health support, ensuring that the experiences of Tang's crew contribute to safer, more prepared, and more compassionate practices in modern military operations. Public recognition of Tang and Wahoo's accomplishments has helped elevate the profile of the submarine force within the collective memory of World War II. Media portrayals, commemorative ceremonies, and the publication of detailed patrol reports have allowed a wider audience to appreciate the combination of courage, innovation, and teamwork that defined these missions. Richard O'Kane, as both a participant and chronicler, ensured that the stories of his crew were not lost to history, capturing the strategic context, tactical ingenuity, and human experiences that characterized the silent service. His writings, lectures, and interviews provided an authentic, detailed, and personal account of undersea warfare, preserving the complexity and gravity of these operations for historians, military professionals, and the public alike. In a broader historical perspective, the saga of Tang and Wahoo illustrates how individual leadership and cohesive team performance can alter the course of events, influence military doctrine, and inspire generations. The lessons learned from their patrols informed post-war submarine strategy, guided technological development, and shaped the training and culture of the U.S. Navy for decades. O'Kane's philosophy, emphasizing preparation, initiative, resilience, and ethical leadership, became a model for officers and crews navigating the evolving challenges of modern naval warfare. Tang's story reminds us that while technology and tactics are essential, the enduring impact of human skill, courage, and ethical decision-making remains at the heart of military success. Ultimately, the legacy of Tang, Wahoo, and Richard O'Kane endures as a testament to the extraordinary potential of disciplined, courageous, and principled leadership. Their achievements continue to resonate in the Navy and in public consciousness, inspiring both military professionals and civilians to value teamwork, resilience, and integrity in pursuit of challenging goals. The combination of operational brilliance, ethical command, and human resilience demonstrated in the Pacific theater offers timeless lessons, bridging the gap between historical events and contemporary challenges. As future generations of submariners navigate the silent depths of the oceans, the story of Tang and its crew serves as a guiding light, ensuring that the courage, ingenuity, and sacrifices of those who served are never forgotten and that their influence continues to shape the values, tactics, and spirit of the silent service for years to come.